Yeah, g'day guys. Another tutorial to help you mate. Shano, we're here sitting at Melbourne Airport. We're basically at the same situation where we left off in the last video. Park and brake is set. We've initialised the aircraft. But I'll just run through the IRS initialisation once more. We'll just hit the initialisation key. Hit Align IRS. In the meantime, I've created a flight from Melbourne to Brisbane, and to get that flight up, and you're always best to work with saved flight plans. We can do it manually, but that's another tutorial altogether. I'd have to show you how to get the information. At this stage, we've got a flight, so let's use it. What we need to do is just type it in. YMML YBBN 01. Put it up here, top left hand. Select key. It will start filling in some information. You can give your flight a number. Okay, the cost index we usually run about 90. Flight level will stick to flight level 370. And if you're on this screen when the engines haven't started yet, you can use the right arrow, and from here you can put how much fuel you need. To work out how much fuel you need, you use another tool. So here's the tool we need to create our fuel. We type in our departure airport, YMML, and we're heading to Brisbane, 746 nautical miles. You can select either the A320 or the 21. We're in the A320. You can set how many passengers you want, how much cargo you want to carry. It's saying that the trip fuel should be 10 tonne, 10.2 tonne. So load fuel and payload. Okay, now that's inside the sim. And that 10.2 is what we'll put here for our block. Okay. From there, we'll go to flight plan. It shows you our flight plan so far. We head back up to the top, destination, departure airport. Left click again, departure, and we'll choose the runway. To find out what runway we're going to use, we'll connect to IVO and get the weather. Before we connect, we'll load the flight plan. Okay, so looks legit. Flight level 370, Brisbane. We could change our aircraft here. A320. Australian Virtual Airlines, MTL. Right click and then left click for Unicom frequency. Press connect. Okay, we're online. So we go left click on ACARS and then left click to require the METAR for departure, which is Melbourne. Left click. The wind, the weather is telling us 360 at 10 knots. Cloud and visibility is okay. Temperature is 17. QNH 1022. So we will need that information. At the moment we're just looking at the winds, 360 at 10. We'll move that over there for a bit. So the most preferred runway for this flight will be runway 34. So we come back to the FMC and we'll left click beside runway 34. And we want the non-X1 departure because we worked that out from the tutorial I made on FSC. Here it is here. Non-X1, left click. And then right click bottom right hand corner. Correction. You want to left click on temporary insert. Okay, so that's all we need for the flight planning part. Now we set up the performance. We will click on perf for the perf page. And we're going to take off with one stage of flaps, so we'll select one and then enter it into flaps. This button here, left click. It gives us our V1, our rotation speed and our safe airborne speed. V1, VR, V2. That is pretty much complete. The other thing we need to do is set up for IFR flights, instrument flight rules. We're using a score code of 2000, so 2000. Just make sure you follow that through with the 3 zeros, otherwise it will switch back to 1200. It needs 4 digits. Okay, so we'll push back. We're at a gate here at Melbourne. And the direction we need to push back is to our left. So we'll start pushback. And we click on the L button left here, left click. We keep clicking it for about 90 degrees, which is about 10, 11, 12 clicks. Keep it at 50 meters, it looks fine. Press start, left click. Okay, so it's asked us to release the parking brake. Left click. Okay, so we're clear to start the engines. We'll come down here to this knob here in the center. We'll right click on it. And we'll switch it over to ignition start. Once we've done that, left click, engine 2. And the flight officer there, first officer, tells you she's starting engine 2. When he says engine 2 stabilise, it allows you to start engine 1. So leave that in the same position. So what we do is left click engine 1. First officer says we're starting number 1, we're pushing back alright. And it's saying engine 1 is stabilised, both engines are running. So we have to set the parking brake, just left click. If you check the FMC, it will say wait, and now it's going on to the after start checklist. Now this flight controls check, you can run through it if you like, left, right, up and down, then rudder, left and right, neutral. I tend to skip it because I know it works. Okay, so that checklist is complete. One quick word on the MCP here. We want to left click speed. We want to left click the heading. We want to right click this little black area and then wheel mouse down, bring up our altitude, which will be flight level 370, 37,000 feet. And you can left click it, but it's already got a circle. These circles indicate that the FMC is taking control. If you need to manually set the speed after takeoff, or you need to change a heading, use the heading for example, we'll right click on it, it will take the circle away, then you use your mouse wheel to change the heading. But we're going to fly by FMS, so left click. So that's all set for takeoff. We'll turn the taxi light on. Old mate does it here in a sec, but in reality you turn it on before you move, whereas the checklist doesn't start until your ground speed is 10 kilometers or faster. So we'll start taxiing. A little bit of throttle, as you can see here. Depending on your weight, it might take a little bit more throttle than normal. Ah, there goes the traffic. We're actually not going to take off. We're just getting to the... we're starting to move. Here are all my 27 here in front of us, so we'll be turning left here shortly and start heading down the runway 34. You can zoom your navigational display in. We want the constraint button, which gives us the information we need. You can see we've gone over 10 knots, or we're at 10 knots. That's when the checklist for taxiing is triggered. From there we can slow down. This part of the checklist, brake checks, expecting you to put the brakes on. So you put them on. So that's been passed. You can skip it if you want. Alright, so we're all ready for takeoff. It's saying now line up to the runway to start the checklist. Looks like another aircraft taking off. It's just landed. The next video will be the takeoff, and we'll go from there. Alright, it's pretty straightforward. Hope it helped. Cheers.